Guess who finally unlocked the code to basic pant fitting? That would be me. Oh my goodness, you guys. After struggling for 6.5 years, my entire sewing journey, I have finally cracked the code to basic pant fitting. And I could not be more proud of myself. But that obviously means that your girl has now jumped down the rabbit hole of sewing trousers. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing not one, but two different pant patterns with you. But I'm going to do it in a sort of interesting way. So if you're curious to see what's going on the channel today, then please keep on watching. Hey Stitches, your girl Chris here. Welcome back to my channel on social, where we completely obsess over all things sewing. So today's video is a little bit different to what I usually offer here on the channel, because this video is a collaboration video. That means you will see two faces on today's video and hear two different perspectives about two different pant patterns. So the two pant patterns that are sort of battling it off in today's video are the NH Riviera trousers by NH Patterns and the Live trousers by Mood Patterns. So I'm going to be sharing all of the tea on the NH Riviera trousers, and my girl Dayana is going to be bringing the scoop about the Live pants by Mood Patterns. So before we get into all of the tea, let me introduce you to my girl Dayana.
Hey, my name is Dayana. You can find me on IG at 26 by Dayana. And today I am here on Chris's channel as a guest, as I will be giving you a review on some pants I recently made.
Now, Di has already dropped her Instagram handle, but let me remind you, it is at 26 by Dayana, and you absolutely need to go ahead and check her out. So run on over to Instagram, find 26 by Dayana, and let her know that I sent you. So these two pant patterns have a couple of similarities. One, they are both trousers with wide legs. Two, they have fly fronts. And three, they have pin tucks down the front leg. So as I told you already, I'm going to be spilling all of the scoop on the NH Riviera trousers. Now, you guys, I was drawn to the Riviera trousers mainly because of the wide leg. I love a wide leg pant. I am a rectangular body shape, and I have previously learned that wide leg pants will be more flattering on me. Notwithstanding that I wasn't sewing pants at the time, I had been researching a little bit about the body types and what might flatter each body type, and it just so happens that wide leg trousers are a plus for the rectangular body shape because it sort of helps to balance out our bottom half. So that is a quick tip. If you are a rectangular body shape like me and you are shopping for or making trousers, then go ahead and give the wide leg trousers a try. Aside from that, I have recently sewn the Saguaro trousers and the Foxy Boxies, both of which you can find here on the channel. However, those two trouser patterns have elastic waist, and your girl was kind of looking to elevate her pant sewing just a little bit and to unlock a couple of new techniques. And I thought, hey, these look a little bit challenging but also super fly, and so I went ahead and bought the pattern, printed it out, and attempted to sew them up. Now that you know why I went for the Riviera trousers, let's hear from Dayana about why she chose the Live trousers by Mood.
So I made the Live pants, which is a stylish free pattern by Mood Fabrics. It features the pin tucks, which is what really attracted me to the pants. It has a front fly, pockets, wide legs, which gives it a very timeless look while it still has a very modern feel.
Alright, so let's talk fabric. So the NH Riviera trousers was designed for lightweight woven fabrics with little to no stretch. So think things like viscoses, crepes, rayons, that sort of vibe. You can, however, use light to midweight linens and cottons, but you're going to end up with more structured pants than the pattern was actually designed for. So for one of my versions, I went for a tencel twill that I got from Minerva in the most gorgeous cobalt blue fabric. Now, I have shared that fabric here on the channel. I was a little bit indecisive about what I wanted it to become. It was either these trousers or a blazer, and as you can see, these trousers won out. Now for my second version, I went ahead and used a cotton fabric that I think is mid to heavyweight. It feels very weighty, like a denim would. So I would go ahead and classify this gingham as a bottom weight. You will see in the twirls that I will share with you eventually that these pants drape and move differently because of the two different types of fabric, and I can't say that I prefer one over the other. I think they both have a place in my wardrobe. So over to Dayana for her fabric choice.
So the wide leg pants really allow for a variety of fabric choice. It all depends on what you guys want. So if you're looking for a very flowy look, you can go with a viscose, you can go with a challis, rayon and all that. If you're looking for something more structured, you can use twill or linen. I went with a polypoplin. It has enough drape while the fabric still allows for a nice structure.
All right, so we've talked about the design, we have talked about the fabric, so now let's talk about the sizing. Now, size inclusivity is a big deal in the sewing community, and I am happy to report that the Riviera trousers are pretty size inclusive. Now, these trousers come in two different size bands, a UK 4 to 18, which is the equivalent of a US 0 to 14, and then a UK 16 to 32, which is roughly a US 12 to 28. Now, on the larger size set, the rise is 1 inch longer than in the lower size band, and the back crotch extends just a little bit longer than does in the smaller size band. So do bear those two things in mind, particularly if you are right the way in the middle of the sizing structure. Now, I went ahead and purchased the larger size band, which, as I said, is a UK 16 to 32, the equivalent of a US 12 to 28. I printed off the sizes 16 and 14 because based on the finished garment measurements, I figured I needed to make a 16 at the waist and grade down to a 14 at the hip. Now, one perk about this pattern is that the sizes are nested, which means that you can print off the one size that you need or a couple of sizes if, like me, you need to grade between your sizes. Now, since I'm talking about buying, this pattern retails for £10 sterling, which is equivalent to about 12 or so US dollars. And it does come with print at home option, an AO option, and with projector files. So well done, NH Patterns, on not only being size inclusive, but in providing different printing options for a large audience. Now, even though I went ahead and blended my sizes, I did have to make a few fit modifications. But what else is new? So the first adjustment that I made was to go ahead and reduce the crotch depth by 1 inch. I think the pattern crotch depth for my size measured 12 3/4 inches or thereabout. My ideal crotch depth is 11 3/4, so I reduced the crotch depth by 1 inch. Now, when you reduce the crotch depth, you also reduce the crotch length. And so I had to go back in and make some adjustments to my crotch length. So for my crotch length in the front, I went ahead and increased it by 1 inch, and I made no further adjustments to my crotch length in the back. However, once I had sewn up my trousers and tried them on, I decided that I could have used a little bit more length in the back crotch. So I went ahead and scooped out the back crotch of my first iteration by about 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Now, based on the information provided by like the pant connoisseurs, it is not ideal to scoop your crotch, but I did anyway because I really had no choice at this point. So scooping out the back crotch did end up giving me a little bit more length in my back crotch, but in all honesty, I think I needed a little bit more. So I'm going to pop in a picture right here so that you can see what my back crotch looks like. I know you'll be staring at my booty crack, but you guys, it is with the best of intentions. So given that situation, for my second iteration, I did go ahead and increase my back crotch. I think it was by 1 inch. That was just to give me a little bit more wiggle room in my back crotch, and so it does not look like my bum is eating up my trousers. Oh my goodness, you guys. Now, in addition to playing about with my depth and my crotch length, I also performed my standard 1/4 inch hollow hip adjustment, which just has the effect of reducing the length of the side seam of my trousers and sort of prevents the hemline of my trousers from caving inwards towards my knees. Now, I do have knock knees. I can tell that because when I stand up in front of the mirror, my thighs are jammed together like this, and then my knees sort of spread apart from my knee to my ankle. So I do know that I have knock knees, but I did not make any specific alterations to this pant pattern for my knock knees, and I think that they both turned out perfectly fine and wearable, so I'm not going to make any further adjustments to this pant pattern following those adjustments for iteration number 2. Now, what did Dayana do to her pants in terms of sizing and modifications? Let's find out.
The pattern instruction and the finished garment measurements indicated that I needed to cut a size 26. but when I did all my measurements, I cut a size 22. And even with cutting a size 22, after sewing the pants, I still had to make quite a few adjustments.
Alright, so I'm sure you guys are a little bit curious about the difficulty of this pant pattern. Now, I would generally refer to myself as an intermediate sewer. I have been sewing for 6.5 years, and I have picked up quite a lot of tips and tricks along the way, and I feel like I'm pretty good in terms of constructing garments. And so from that perspective, I would rank myself as an intermediate sewer. However, when it comes to sewing pants, I would rank myself as a beginner because I just did not have much experience in sewing trousers. Now, the construction of trousers generally is pretty straightforward, save and except for trousers that have fly fronts or any other specialist details like these ones do. Now, the pattern designer actually rates these trousers as an intermediate sew, and I would absolutely agree. The fly front has to be the most difficult part of constructing these trousers. But first, let us talk about the pin tucks. Now, these trousers do have pin tucks down the front leg. You have to pinch your pin tucks together right the way down the leg, and then press them and stitch them into place, and then press them towards your side seam. In iteration number 1, I pressed them towards the side. In iteration number 2, I decided I wanted them to stand upright, and so I pressed the waistline and the hemline towards the side, and then I pressed the remaining of the pin tuck straight up. So I pressed one side towards the center, the other side towards the center, and so they stand up more straight coming down the leg. Sewing the pin tuck wasn't difficult, but you do need to take care in marking your pin tucks just to make sure that they are accurate going right down the leg line. Now, for my second iteration, because I was using this large scale gingham, the markings for my pin tuck were a little bit off, and it would have resulted in a weird placement, at least in my opinion, down the leg line. So I ended up shifting my pin tuck just a little bit towards the side seam, just so that it would line up with the grid lines in the gingham fabric. Let me just show you right quick. So this is my gingham here. As you can see, it has a pin tuck down the center front. Now, if I had marked the pin tuck as per the pattern instructions, then the pin tuck would have been more towards my center front, and it would have cut more into my gingham square. So I shifted it over just a little bit, so it ended up on the perimeter of both of my front gingham squares. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm not making sense as I listen to myself explain this to you, but hopefully it will translate to you in a way that makes sense. So now the result is that my pin tuck sits right between this gingham here and this gingham here. Now, that is part of the reason as well why I wanted to press my gingham upright, just so it would have the line running straight down the leg instead of sort of turning my gingham towards the side. Oh my gosh, you guys, I feel like I'm rambling. Anyways, this is what my pin tuck looks like in my gingham version. Just know that I shifted my pin tuck just a little bit towards my side seam. Alright. Now, aside from the pin tuck, which as I said is not difficult, it just requires precision, sewing the fly front, you guys need to carefully follow the instructions, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos on how to go about inserting a fly front if you have never done one before, because that too requires a little bit more skill and patience than obviously constructing like an elastic waist trousers. Now, I did not find it particularly difficult because the instructions I found were quite good. And this pattern also has a full YouTube tutorial by the pattern designer, which in my view is always a plus. I am a visual learner. I learn better when I see somebody do something than I do when I just simply read the instructions. And so I found that having a YouTube tutorial accompany the pattern instructions was like, kudos to the pattern designer for thinking about doing that. That gets this pattern a couple more stars in my book. Now, I am particularly proud of my fly front on this pair of trousers. As a matter of fact, I am very, very proud of this pair of trousers because of my pattern matching. You guys, I was so careful when I was cutting out this trouser pattern to think about my pattern placement and pattern matching. I feel like if I had not tried to pattern match these trousers, it would have driven me a little bit crazy, you guys. I actually put a poll up over on Instagram asking my Instagram followers whether it would have been a big deal if these trousers were not pattern matched, and most of my followers answered by saying, hell yes, these trousers need to be pattern matched. A couple of my followers just didn't care either which way, but for me personally, I knew I needed to take that extra time to try and get a good pattern match on my trousers. And would you know it, I nailed it. Can I say that without being haughty? Whatever. I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. And I am going to shout it from the rooftops because I am super, 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 super proud of these trousers. Let me show you guys my back crotch because the proof is in the pudding. Bam! This is the back crotch of my trouser. Can you see how seamlessly my gingham runs straight through my back crotch? You guys, like, can you see that? Clearly, this is the best my ass has ever looked. I swear to you. This is just near perfection in my books. Now, I also did matching down my leg seams on either side and through my front crotch, even though it has a fly front. So I am really, really proud of these trousers. You guys prepare to be sick of me because, oh my goodness, these trousers go down as my #1 make in all time in terms of the precision and the construction, and even with the fit. I really feel like these trousers fit really well, especially from somebody who has been struggling so long with trouser fitting. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap myself on the back, and if you guys agree, then be sure to go ahead and like this video and drop me a comment down below and let me know how much I nailed the pattern match in these trousers. Seriously. Anyways, I'm going to take a moment to sit and gloat. So let's hear from Dayana.
Pattern difficulty. I would say that this pattern is intermediate level because of the front fly. So if you are there at that level and you've made front fly before, it's pretty easy. But if you have not, for a beginner, you know, I would say that you need to take your time and watch a few videos, read about the front fly, and then the pants would come very easy to you. And because they have pin tuck, if you want to make some more adjustment, you can definitely use that. One tip that I would offer for the pin tuck, make sure that you trace your pin tuck and you iron them flat. It makes it easier, and then it gives it a lot of definition for your pants.
Right, so now the burning question. Will I make this pant pattern again? And the answer has to be a resounding yes. I love these trousers. I actually made them back to back, you guys, and that almost never happens. Maybe if I sew up a pattern twice, it's probably I make it now, and then a couple months from now or a couple years from now, I might make up a second, maybe a third version of whatever it is that I have made. But in this instance, I made up these trousers back to back. As soon as I had completed my blue version, I went ahead and made up this gingham pair. Now, I don't have the blue version in front of me to like hold up and show you, and that is because they have been worn to death and have been washed to death, and they are currently in my laundry basket. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pop some more pictures on the screen so that you guys can see how amazing my blue pair look. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit more footage on this pink gingham trouser, because you guys, I did forget to mention in terms of construction that I made the job a little bit more difficult, or maybe not difficult, maybe just more time consuming for myself, because instead of top stitching my waistband into place and hemming my trousers visibly, I went ahead and hand sewed my waistband and my trouser hems. Oh God, you guys, is this really Kristen that you guys are talking to today? I even surprised myself, but these trousers just look so bloody good. I figured, why spoil them with like visible stitching? So I turned up my hemline by 1 inch after serging my edges, and I sat down with a needle and thread and did it old school and hemmed up the hem of my trouser. And I did the same thing at my waistband. And I'm happy that I did it because I just feel like a line of stitching through my waistband, especially in this gingham print, would have just distracted you guys from how amazing my trousers look. Now, I forgot to also mention that these trousers have belt loops, which again is a definite positive for me because I love wearing belts with my trousers and my skirts. And so even when a pattern does not include belt loops, I usually will go ahead and add belt loops to like my skirts. So I'm happy that this pant pattern actually also had belt loops. And this pant also has pockets, because I mean, what are trousers without pockets anyway? I love these pockets and they are seamless. You almost don't notice them because I did such an amazing job with my print matching. Again, I am repeating how good of a job that I did. I told you guys you'd be sick of me. Anyhow, I will definitely go ahead and give this pant pattern a 10 out of 10. The fact that it comes with so many different options in terms of printing, the fact that they have the pin tucks, the belt loops, the fly front, and that they're wide leg, just very intentional. I just love it. I love the fact that they're very size inclusive and that they come in 2 different size bands and that the sizing is layered. I love how the instructions are written, and I really love that they also come with a YouTube tutorial. So 10/10 from me for this pattern. Well done, NH Patterns. If you have never heard of them, you should definitely go ahead and check them out. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I am just a very happy customer. And I think that if you want a beautiful pair of trousers, then you should absolutely go ahead and check out this pattern. I'll drop the link down below in the description box just to make it a little bit easier for you guys in case you are interested in these patterns. Now that you have heard my ranking, let's head on over to Dayana and let's hear how she ranks the lift pants by Mood Patterns.
Alright, so final thoughts on these pants. The leaf pants, I find them to be very versatile and stylish. I can't say stylish enough. So I would highly recommend them if you are looking for a pair of pants that offers some interesting details, such as the front fly and the pin tuck. This is the pants for it. And I feel as if they can be a great addition to anyone's wardrobe, because the wide legs give you that chic element, right? I love pants with front fly. I have nothing against elastic. I have some pants with elastic at the waist, but I love the front fly because it's giving you that, it's called for chic. It's called for not just casual all the time. But these pants, because of the wide legs, the pin tuck is giving you everything. It's giving you chic. It's giving you casual. It's giving you stylish. So these are my final thoughts on the leaf pants. If you are looking for a good pair of pants, go ahead and make them. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to take any pictures, but if you guys go ahead and follow me on IG at 26 by Dayana, you will definitely see it. Okay? So you guys have a good day. Thank you. And I want to thank you, Chris, for having me on your channel. That was fun. You know, this put me out of my comfort zone, but hey, here we are. Bye.
Alright, you guys, that was the review of the NH Riviera trousers as up against the lift pants by Mood Patterns. Go ahead, as I said, and check out both of these patterns. The upside to the Mood pattern is that it's absolutely free, and so if you are fairly new to trouser fitting or constructing and you're not ready to drop any dimes on a pant pattern, perhaps it is in your best interest to check out the lift pattern by Mood, and then once you're comfortable with sewing up that pattern, then go ahead and give the NH Riviera trousers a try, because they are amazing. Now you guys, that is all I needed to share with you for today's video. I'm hoping that you enjoyed how this video sort of came together. Now I am definitely an advocate for collaborations. Like, all of the good girlies are collaborating. These are the girlies who sit at the top, and so it's always good to hear different perspectives from different people, and so I'm hoping that you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Now, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up, drop me some comments down below, and let me know whether you want to see more of this type of video. Don't forget to run on over to my girl Dayana's page over on Instagram at 26 by Dayana, and remember as well to tell her that I sent you. Now, that is all I needed to share with you guys today. So until next time, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely keep sewing. Peace.